You've just been in a Florida car accident, and now everyone wants your side of the story. The officer's asking questions, the insurance adjusters calling nonstop, and you're still trying to process what even happened. I see this every week. People say one wrong thing in the moment of stress, in the moment of chaos, and that single sentence ends up costing them big time. Because here in Florida, how you tell your story after a crash doesn't just shape your case, it may decide how much money you actually take home. So in this video, I'll walk you through the first trick that can make or break your claim, how to tell your story the right way every time. Hi, I'm attorney Pablo Tamayo. I've been practicing law in the state of Florida for almost 2 decades. Let's jump right into the first trick for getting paid big after your car accident here in Florida, and how to tell your story when it matters most. And by story, I mean every conversation and every document where you describe how the accident actually happened. Now, here's what I see every single week as a personal injury attorney. Someone gets hit in a crash, and in the chaos, they give a quick statement to the police or an insurance adjuster. They're shaken up, they're in pain, and they say something like, "I'm not even sure what happened, or it happened so quickly. Maybe I was partly to blame." The next thing you know, the insurance company is using that statement to try and pay them less than what they truly deserve, or than what they may even flat out deny the claim. So what's the trick? Be clear and consistent from day one. When you first talk to the police, your doctor, and especially the insurance folks, stick to the same simple truth of what you remember, focusing on what you know. If you're not sure about a detail, like how fast the cars you're traveling, it's okay to say, "I don't know," or not, "Maybe it was my fault." Don't guess, fill in the blanks, just the facts. Let's take an example. Maria, a client of mine in Tampa, she got rear-ended at a red light. The other driver was distracted. Maria told the officer, "I stopped for the light and then I felt the impact." Well, later, the insurance company tried to twist her words, saying maybe she stopped too quickly. But because Maria was clear and never suggested she was at fault, we were able to hold the other driver's insurance fully responsible. She got a much bigger settlement because her story never changed. Think of your case like a chain. If your story is strong and consistent, it's tough for the insurance company to break it later on. But if your story keeps changing and wavering, the chain gets weak, and so does your case. So trick number 1, from the first report to the final phone call, tell your story the right way, the same way, the truth, every time. Don't let the insurance company rush you. Now, here's a trick that drives insurance companies crazy, but it works. Do not let them pressure you into settling fast. After a crash in Florida, most people get a call from the insurance company within days, sometimes even hours. They act friendly. They make it sound like they're watching out for your best interests with lines like, "We want to get this wrapped up so you can just move on." But here's the truth. If they're calling you fast, it's usually because they want you to take a low offer, because you know how badly you're hurt or what your future bills will really be, because you don't know how badly you're hurt or what your future bills will be. Now, I've had clients who got a $3,000 offer just days after an accident, before they'd even spoken to an attorney. And it sounded good at first, but after you took the time to actually see a doctor and learn the months of physical therapy that you might need, in the end, the real case can be worth multiples of what the original offer is. And here's why waiting matters. Some injuries, things like whiplash, herniated discs, or even concussions, they might not show up right away. Or maybe you feel pain at first, but it gets worse over a few weeks. If you settle early, you'll be stuck paying for those later developing issues or complications out of your own pocket. In Florida, you usually have up to 2 years to file a personal injury lawsuit after a car accident. Take the time to get checked up by your doctors, get all the tests, all the reports you need, and talk to a lawyer before agreeing to accept any offer. When the insurance company tries to rush you, just say, "I'm still being treated for my injuries. When I know my full situation, I'll get back to you." Or if you have an attorney, just talk to my attorney. That simple sentence can make a massive difference in how much you eventually get paid for your injuries down the line. Collect evidence like a detective, even if you hate paperwork. A lot of folks in Florida think that if they weren't at fault, they just need to tell their story and the insurance company will do the rest. Sadly, that's not how the real world works, especially if you want to get paid big after a Florida car accident if you have big damages. Here's the trick. You need to collect evidence, like you're a detective. Yes, even if paperwork drives you crazy. What kind of evidence are we talking about? First, take as many photos, as many videos as you possibly can. The scene, your car, the other car, skid marks, street signs, traffic lights, even the weather. The more the better. Snap pictures of any visible injuries, bruises, cuts, anything of that nature as soon as possible. Second, write down names and contact info for any witnesses that stopped. Eyewitnesses can be gold for backing up your story, especially if the other driver tries to blame you later on. Third, save every piece of paperwork. That includes the police report, your medical bills, doctor's notes, prescriptions, and even receipts for things like a rental car or Uber rides that you needed because your car was in the shop. Any out-of-pocket expenses, save those receipts. Let me give you an example. I had a client, Carlos, Fort Lauderdale, who was T-boned at an intersection. He took photos of the street sign, the position of the cars, his own injuries. He actually got a few names of witnesses that saw the accident. While later, when the other driver's insurance company claimed that Carlos might have run the red light, we had proof. The witnesses backed him up, and the insurance company had no choice but to pay Carlos the full value of his claim. You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes. Just use your phone. Jot down any notes and keep everything in a nice, clean folder or even a shoebox. The point is, evidence is what moves your case from just another accident to a big, undeniable payout for big damages. Of course, the level of your injuries are a big factor, but without evidence, you're fighting an uphill battle. Now, get the right medical treatment and don't skip your doctor's appointments. Now, this trick is huge in Florida, and it's one most people overlook. If you want to get paid big, you have to get proper medical treatment for your injuries quickly and follow through with your appointments. Follow your doctor's advice. Florida has what's called no fault or personal injury protection insurance. That means your own insurance pays the first chunk of your medical bills. But there's a catch. You have to see a doctor within 14 days of the accident to get those full benefits. If you miss that window, you could lose thousands of dollars in coverage. But there's more to it. Insurance companies love to see gaps in your medical care. Any missed appointments, skipped therapy, or long breaks between doctor's visits. They use that to argue you weren't really hurt or that your injuries aren't that serious. Every time you skip, your case may get a little weaker. Remember that. Well, let me share a real story. Jasmine, down in Homestead, she had neck and back injuries after a car crash. She saw a doctor 2 days after the accident, started physical therapy, and went to every visit, even when she felt tired or busy. When we settled her case, the insurance company couldn't argue with the mountain of records showing the extent of her injuries, and they paid out the maximum on the policy limit. Compare that to people who delay getting checked out or who skip their appointments because they try and just toughen out their injuries. If your injuries get worse or last longer than you expected, you may have a tough time proving it was caused by the accident if you don't get consistent treatment from the doctor. So if you're hurt, get checked out right away. Keep every appointment, save your records. Restoring your health is always the priority in your case, but you also deserve to get the maximum compensation for your injuries. So partner with an attorney who knows the tricks in Florida, in addition to knowing the law. So let's talk about the final trick for getting paid big after a car accident here in Florida. Work with the right attorney, not just someone who dabbles in this area or who may be from out of state or who's not going to give your claim the attention it deserves. So here's the thing. Florida has some unique rules about car accidents, insurance, and lawsuits. For example, our state uses modified comparative fault, which means your payout can get reduced if you're found partly to blame. We also have specific deadlines, required insurance coverages, and sneaky insurance tactics you just don't see in other states. I've seen it all. Insurance companies sending people to biased doctors, pushing quick lowball settlement offers before you talk to an attorney, or even dragging out cases hoping the victim just gets worn out and they just give up and capitulate. An experienced Florida personal injury attorney knows these tricks, and he knows how to fight back. For example, after a serious crash up in Jacksonville, we represented a woman whose insurance company tried to downplay her injuries because she had a previous back issue. We dug through her old records, worked with her doctors to explain how this accident aggravated her prior injuries, and used Florida's own case rules to force a great settlement for her. The right attorney knows how to negotiate, when to push back, when to take a case to court, and how to find every dollar you deserve, not just for your medical bills, but for your pain and suffering, your lost time, and your future care. And the best part, most good personal injury lawyers in Florida work on a contingency fee. That just means you pay nothing up front, and we only get paid if you get paid. So you have nothing to lose by getting expert help, but a lot to miss out on if you try and go at it alone. Are you ready to win? Here's what to do next. Let's run it down one more time. If you want to get paid big after your Florida car accident, number 1, tell your story the right way every time. Stick to the truth. Don't speculate. Number 2, don't let the insurance company rush you. Number 3, collect all the evidence you can, even if it feels like a hassle at the time. Number 4, get medical treatment quickly and don't skip a single appointment. Follow your doctor's recommendations. Number 5, team up with an attorney who really knows the Florida system and will fight for you. If you follow these 5 tricks, you'll be in the best position to get the money you need to heal, move forward, and to protect your future. Now, before you go, there's one more thing that can make or break your case: knowing who was at fault, especially when a truck is involved. Don't miss our next video. How do I know if the truck driver was at fault after my truck accident? There, I'll break down the signs and evidence you need to spot, and how to prove if the trucking company tries to dodge responsibility for causing your accident. That video could save you from losing thousands or from being stuck with bills that aren't your fault. So make sure to check it out next, and I'll see you over there.